From the first bout to the last stand, this is for every fan who loves it. I am Dr. Love, and this is Aaron Love's Wrestling. Yeah! Turn the lights on, hear the crowd ignite. Heartbeat pounds on a Friday night. From the territory days to the modern age, every ring's a war, from every match to every stage. I grew up on legends, I learned to believe in heroes, villains, the blood, and you can see the love I have. It is all on my sleeve, from Dusty Rhodes to Bright Marquee. Wrestling is in my blood, there's no hate in me. Hear the roar when the music hits, goosebumps when the champion appears. Every style, every fight, every ring, one love for the business. I am here to bring the love and the passion in every review. Aaron Love's Wrestling. AEW, WENWA, New Japan, TNA. It doesn't matter about the brand, I love it all. Aaron Love's Wrestling. My heart is in the ring. No walls, no wars, just the passion for the business that I bring. Aaron Love's Wrestling. One world, one voice.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's Aaron Love's Wrestling Podcast, and I am Dr. Love Aaron, and I'm here to talk about AEW Dynamite. I know I said start this at 11:30. I apologize for being late, but family comes first, so that's what kept me up, kept me past time. But AEW Dynamite was really great tonight. Really good show. Some good, really good matches, story development, the debut of Tommaso Ciampa. I mean, my gosh, we're getting that here in a minute. But I'd like to first start off with some of the with the sponsor here, Woo Energy. Get yourself some Woo Energy and use the promo code Dr. Love. That's DRLOVE, all caps, and get 20% off of your purchase. Woo Energy is really great. Tastes great. As you can see here is dragon fruit. They also got pineapple berry. They got lemon. My favorite, strawberry banana. And then they got the dragon fruit. So those 4 flavors. Get a variety case. I highly recommend it, so you can try all of them and see which one's your favorite. Mine is strawberry banana. Again, top favorite of mine. But get yourself some Woo Energy, 150 milligrams of caffeine, 6 grams of sugar, low sugar, 30 calories, and it's got a mushroom blend, herbal mushroom blend for your energy and focus and clarity. This drink is great. I love it. So get yourself some Woo Energy. That's right. It's the Ric Flair Woo Energy. So get yourself some of that. If you want to eliminate caffeine intake, you're trying to eliminate the caffeine intake and trying to keep it low, then I would get iDrink. It's clean energy without the caffeine. iDrink. I've been drinking it for about 8 months now, and I love it. This is my favorite drink, and next to that is Woo Energy. But get yourself iDrink. That's iDrink with the Q.com. Descriptions in the link is in the description below. So get yourself some of that iDrink, and then also get yourself some Prince Nana coffee. Yep, and I'm using my AEW cup. Prince Nana coffee, great coffee. I love it. I'm drinking the aged whiskey barrel flavor, and that's really good. I love it. Tastes delicious. So click in the link description below for some Prince Nana coffee, and get yourself some Prince Nana coffee today. And then also Pure Plank. I'm a personal trainer, and I actively work out, and one of my favorite workouts are planks. Pure Plank is a great workout. It was designed by Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, and it's I highly recommend it. Get 10% off. Use promo code Aaron Loves Wrestling. Get 10% off of your purchase. Pure Plank, great workout. platform, and it also has an app for different type of workouts and to keep track of everything. So get Pure Plank. The link is in the description below as well. So with that being said, let's get into this review. Oh, wrong one. There we go. AEW. There we go. AEW Dynamite was a fantastic card. You had Clon and Mark Briscoe going for the TNT Championship. Some of these matches were going to happen on Collision this past Saturday in Arlington, and I was going to go, and I am so upset that I couldn't go. So, but due to the winter storm and the ice, it shut everything down. AEW had to pivot and do a taping on Dynamite last Wednesday and tape Collision for this past Saturday. So, Collision was canceled. Now we get Collision back this weekend in Arlington. But sadly, I cannot attend because I have work this weekend. So I'm really bummed out about that, especially with what we got tonight with the debut of Tommaso Ciampa and their TNT title match set up for this weekend, and a couple other, and then another debut. The Rascals are debuting this weekend as well. Collision, we'll get more into Collision in next week's Dynamite here shortly. But Dynamite, as far as the show tonight, can't really complain too much, honestly. There's, again, they had great matches up and down the card. A lot of people were calling this a pay-per-view type Dynamite, which I can't argue. This was really, really great matches with Jon Moxley and Ace Austin. Ace Austin on Dynamite for the first time. He was on Collision. He was on Ring of Honor. But now he's on Dynamite, so hopefully we'll get to see more of him. Rocky Romero faced off against Kenny Omega. Andrade faced off against Swerve Strickland to face Kenny Omega next week to determine who the number one contender is for the AEW World Championship at Revolution. So we got this card tonight. I mean, you cannot go wrong with this card. Then you also had the AEW Women's World Championship with Thekla challenging Kris Statlander for world title, and FTR facing Davis and Doyle as well. Again, great card. Let's get into it. I enjoyed the show. I hope you did too. So let's talk about it. We first had Kenny Omega versus Rocky Romero. Great match to start the show, especially seeing Kenny Omega and him doing 101s, and he still got it. And his injury hasn't really affected him that much. But we have him facing us, Rocky Romero, part of the Don Callis family. Don Callis, Kenny Omega, still got some beef. And in the end, although Rocky Romero really tried really hard to defeat Omega, he came up short against the best bout machine, and Kenny Omega hit Rocky Romero with the one-winged angel and won after the match. Tony Schiavone interviews Kenny Omega in the ring, talking about main event tonight with Swerve and Andrade and who will be facing next week, and talking about the world title. And Kenny Omega gave a great promo. AEW is rather best wrestle, and talking about becoming world champion again. So, I mean, that'd be great seeing Kenny Omega with the world title one last time. But I'm sticking with my guy, although I love Kenny Omega. I'm sticking with my guy, Hangman Adam Page, who came out and interrupted Kenny Omega and complimented Kenny, talking about wrestling alongside him. But he also talked about wrestling against him and facing for this world title. And in the end, Hangman Adam Page said that he's going to become the next AEW World Champion. And I highly agree. I want Hangman Adam Page as the World Champion again in AEW. That's my guy in AEW. He'll always be my guy in AEW. Everybody else is beneath Hangman to me. Nothing, not in a disrespectful way. It's just Hangman's my top favorite. So him becoming AEW World Champion again will make me happy. But of course, it doesn't revolve about me. So we'll see what happens with Tony Khan. Oh, we got my brother Devin in the building. Pause real quick. What's going on? Y'all go check out Devin. He's the Tribal Chief. Tomorrow he's going to have TNA Impact Watch Along. And then he's going to have this Saturday. Sadly, I'll be missing it because of work. This isn't Watch Along anyway. Due to Royal Rumble being early, I will be able to catch some of it, hopefully all of it, before I have to go into work. So perks on that, but go check out Devin along with the Opinion City podcast. They will be trio. There'll be a trio this weekend. Let's go with that. There'll be all three doing a watch along for Royal Rumble this Saturday. So we'll see any surprises happen. Who wins? Y'all know who I got in the Rumble this weekend. I'm going to do a prediction later after this. So tune into that. So go check out Devin, the Tribal Chief, also for the Raw watch alongs and NXT watch along. So go check out Devin. And yep, the Psycho Killer is back. We're about to talk about that here in a minute. So I'm excited because I love Tommaso Ciampa. That's right. But Heyman had a page, and also Swerve comes out. Swerve talks about he'll go through anybody, and that includes Kenny Omega for that AEW World Championship. That is Swerve's mission to become the world champion. Again, I love this because you have a lot of the top faces of the company gunning for the world title, and that's why I love having one world championship, because you can have many of your top faces go after the world title instead of having two world titles, and you got to split them up. It just makes it better, in my opinion. The competition is better. So that's what I love about this. And when Will Ospreay returns from injury, he'll be in the mix. And now with the debut of Tommaso Ciampa, we'll see if he'll be on the mix. Right now he's going after that TNT title, so maybe that'll be his first step, and then he'll go for the world title. But we will see. So after that, we had Don Callis come out, and I didn't catch this at first. It was pointed out, but his teeth fell out, or almost fell out. He caught him and put it back in. He put the microphone up to his mouth to kind of cover everything, but the damage is already done. We saw it, especially when the cameraman zoomed in pretty much at the perfect timing. It was unplanned, but he zoomed in and you saw the whole thing. And then after Don Callis was done with his promo, brought the microphone down, you see him trying to fix his teeth. And I didn't even know he had that issue. And I ain't trying to knock on Don Callis. People, they need those they need those fake teeth, because of health issues or whatever. So it is what it is. But I thought it was pretty comical. So not to be too embarrassed about. It's going to be one of the main talks of AEW tonight. So I thought it was pretty funny. Not disrespectful. I just thought it was comical. Good funny moment right there. So yeah, that was the end of that. We had next the AEW Continental Championship Eliminator match with Jon Moxley facing Ace Austin, who had his first match on Dynamite. He's been wrestling in Collision and also heavily in Ring of Honor, and he's been having some great matches in Ring of Honor. So hopefully this will be his time, stepping up to the AEW Dynamite and Collision, being on Dynamite Collision more, because I could see him being a perfect addition in the Continental title mix, or in the National Heavyweight title mix, or teaming up with the Bang Bang Gang for the Trios World title, or going for the TNT title, or just going into some top stories. It doesn't have to really be a title. Getting involved in some storylines on AEW, because Ace Austin is a great talent. If you never watched him in TNA, that's where he was before he came to AEW. So I'm glad that he got on Dynamite tonight after working hard on Collision and Ring of Honor the past few months. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, Jon Moxley and Ace Austin was a great wrestling match, and Jon Moxley won, hitting Death Rider on Ace Austin. And then afterwards, you had Konosuke Takeshita coming out, and that traditional, doing that to signify they're going for the title. So we got Takeshita going after their Continental Championship. He was in the Continental Classic, came up short. He was the international champion last year, and then but seeing him with the Continental title, and who knows, he can go and win that TNT title, then win eventually the world title. But Konosuke Takeshita now has his eyes on the Continental Championship. He had a stare down with Jon Moxley after the match, and then he walked out. And after he walked out, you had Davis and Doyle attack John Moxley. And I like this because it played out later, storyline wise, with their tag team match. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. This was great, good segment, good way to put Davis and Doyle over right here and possibly hype them up to win these tag team titles. So I thought that was really good. Now we have the TNT Championship match, and this is one of the biggest, one of my biggest segments here, or match after that, the segment. But you had the TNT Championship on the line with Mark Briscoe going up against El Clon. And El Clon is a great talent. I love El Clon. He's a great wrestler in the ring, and when Hologram returns, seeing them two feud and have a match together as well, which who knows, it might lead up to Revolution, because the time frame of Hologram recovering from his injury will be between now and next month, so just in time for Revolution. But I wouldn't mind letting that story build a little bit, and maybe we get it for Double or Nothing or something like that, or maybe even save it for All In London, because El Clon, he's definitely established himself in AEW now. He's becoming a fan favorite, and a lot of people love him and his entrance and the thing he does with the, turning the camera. And a lot of his counters in this match tonight were amazing. So I really loved this match. So I really enjoyed this. Briscoe wins by rolling up El Clon for the win, and after that he gives a little promo speech about who's the next guy up, and this is where we get the debut. According to reports online, Tommaso Ciampa's contract ended Monday night at midnight, and it did not take him long to decide where he was going to sign next. Some people were saying TNA, which wasn't minded over there either. But him joining AEW, in my opinion, he just kind of fits their style of wrestling a lot more. And I posted on X yesterday now, for him to join the Death Riders. Because, I don't know, he just looks like he would mesh well with the Death Riders, with John Moxley and everything. So I thought that would be a great addition. Who knows, we might see it later on. But I do like that he is getting a singles push, and right out the gate, he is getting a TNT Championship match here up against. So if you didn't see it, there he is, Tommaso Ciampa, the Psycho Killer. And I gotta say, the theme was a banger. I love the theme, because the theme Mikey Ruckus put together was awesome. So you have that. And then the logo in the back, the skull logo, Psycho Killer. And at first, some people, I was seeing when I posted on TikTok the video of him coming out, some of the people in the comments thought it was going to be Killer Cross. And although that would have been freaking awesome as well. But we got Tommaso Ciampa, which is awesome. Who knows? We might see Cross later down the road. But Tommaso Ciampa is now All Elite. He's going to have to change his Twitter name on there, though, because he still has Ciampa WWE. So he's going to have to change that. And I'm sure he will here within the next 24 hours. But AEW did not tag Ciampa in their post about his debut and his videos and stuff like that, because he has the name WWE, or has WWE at the end of his name on his Twitter handle. So hopefully that will get fixed, and it'll probably be Ciampa AEW or something like that. But we have Ciampa. He comes out and he goes and stares down Mark Briscoe. There you can see. Hey, and look in the back there. That's a weird Sting face paint. That's if that's even an attempt to be like Sting. But anyhow, Ciampa and Mark Briscoe, you got them going 1-on-1 for the TNT Championship this Saturday on Collision. And I hate that I can't be there live in attendance, because I really would love to see that, especially see Ciampa live. I know later down the road I will. But this is what we got going on for Collision this Saturday. Ciampa and Mark Briscoe for the TNT title. Will Ciampa win and become a TNT champion this Saturday? I think it would be great to have the TNT title on him. And they've been posting on their Ring of Honor YouTube channel. I've been seeing a lot of past matches in the past with Briscoe and Ciampa and Ring of Honor. I wanted to go check those out because I've missed those. I want to go check those out because I would like to see the history between these two. So that is going to be a great match. Did Doyle get injured? I don't think so. I don't think Doyle got injured. I hope not, because that would really suck for him and Davis. And who knows? That's probably why FTR didn't win. They probably were scheduled to win the titles anyway, Davis and Doyle. But if he did get injured, pray for a speedy recovery. I'll have to go research that and see. Let me check this out right now, actually, because I didn't catch that at first. Oh, I'm starting to see it trending. So they said his bicep. Oh, yeah, they're saying he might have torn his bicep in the middle of the match. Oh, I see it now. Somebody posted the deal. I want to repost it. So if you go on my Twitter account, you can see where it happened. It was on the side apron. Cash Wheeler did a DDT to him. And, oh, yeah, his arm did not look good landing for Doyle. That did not look good. I hope it's not too serious because that would really suck, in my opinion, for Jake Doyle, because that is going, man, keeping him in my prayers. So yeah, Devin, I just reposted the clip. If you haven't seen it yet, I reposted it on my X just now because, man, I didn't know he hurt himself. But it looks like they're saying a torn bicep. So hopefully he recovers well, and hopefully it's not too serious. So prayers up to Jake Doyle, and hopefully he makes a speedy recovery, full recovery. Let's say full recovery, not speedy recovery. I would like them to be fully recovered when they return, and take it slow, really recover, and come back 100%. Not 80, 90, and you get injured again. Come back 100%. So prayers up for Jake Doyle. But yeah, Tommaso Ciampa making his surprise appearance and debut. And I really love this because there was no spoilers. There was nothing getting leaked. No nothing. This was just out the gate, surprise debut, and I loved it. I really loved the debut. It was really well put together, and I enjoyed him coming out and even staring down Mark Briscoe. So their match this Saturday on Collision, I think it's going to be a great match. I cannot wait. And I wouldn't mind him winning the TNT Championship, honestly. I wouldn't mind him winning the TNT Championship. Mark Briscoe's been holding this title since Full Gear, so he'd had his run with it, and a good run at that. Not saying anything against Mark Briscoe, but, man, putting that title, especially on Tommaso Ciampa, because Tommaso Ciampa was really great in NXT Black and Gold. He had a really great run with the NXT title. I think twice. I think he was a 2-time NXT champion. So after that, I thought he would be really heavily pushed in WWE on the main roster and like the U.S. title picture, Continental title picture. I even thought he'd be great for the world title picture because of his character and everything about him. So seeing him pushed with the NXT championship and how great he was at it, I still go back to this day to watch Black and Gold. To me, you just can't beat Black and Gold NXT. I like the product of NXT today. Did not like 2.0 whatsoever. But the NXT Black and Gold was, in my opinion, the best era, especially for NXT. And it definitely topped Raw and SmackDown during those times a lot. It was the best thing going for WWE at that time. And Ciampa was one of the main guys to push it. After he turned on Gargano, he was pushed to the top, and he was the NXT champion. He sold it. He did well. He was a great NXT champion. So I love that about Ciampa, and I was really hoping he'd get a better push on the main roster. He did a U.S. Open challenge with Carmelo Hayes a couple weeks ago, so it's pretty interesting because somebody pointed out because he would have a U.S. title match and a TNT title match, which is kind of their I would say U.S. title according to the championships on and everything. So it'd be kind of cool to see that. Him a couple weeks ago get a U.S. title And then now you get a TNT Championship. Because with the U.S. title, they're doing an open challenge. TNT Championship, they're pretty much doing the open challenge as well. So it's kind of pretty cool for Ciampa to answer the last couple of weeks on his contract. It was a great match with Carmelo Hayes, by the way, with him and Hayes a couple of weeks on SmackDown for the U.S. Championship. But now we're going to get him and Mark Briscoe this Saturday on Collision for the TNT Championship. So I can't wait. I really can't wait. I think this is going to be a great match. So keep watching or tune in to Collision this Saturday. So after all of that, we get the AEW Women's World Championship. And with all of the titles being on the line, I really thought we was going to see the titles change hands at some point. One of them anyway. I really expected it to be the tag team championships. I did not expect the TNT title at all. But but yeah, we had Kris Statlander versus Thekla. But if it was out of the women's title and the tag team titles, I thought it would be not the tag team titles, the women's championship. I didn't think I thought FTR was going to retain anyway, but I really thought here we'd have the title change with the women's world championship. And I love Kris Statlander. She's great, and I mean I'm wearing her shirt right now. So she's great, and she's been a great champion. But I thought that this will be a title change hands here. I didn't think Davis and Doyle will get it just yet. Now, if all the titles being on the line, I thought the women's world title was going to change hands here. But none of the titles changed hands. They were all successfully defended, which is fine. No complaints with that. I've seen some people complain online, well, why did the titles change, and etc. I wouldn't have minded Thekla winning, and we see a title change here. I wouldn't have minded that at all. But Kris Statlander winning and retaining the title, they're going to probably save that for Revolution, and we'll see who steps up to challenge her for that title. But this was a really good women's match between Thekla and Kris Statlander. And then you had, in the end, Statlander connects with the Saturday Night Fever and retains the AEW Women's World Championship. And then after the match, you had Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. And Megan Bayne was staring down Kris Statlander. So it looks like we're going to get another Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander match here shortly. And probably for the Women's World Championship. And who knows? The titles might change hands, and we'll see Megan Bayne win the AEW Women's World Championship. And I think that would be great because, I mean, Megan Bayne, she's a great talent. And I love the Megasis deal and all that. And I thought winning the TBS Championship would be great for her. But I mean, her winning that Women's World Championship and her going for that title, that's going to be great too. So we might see her challenge Kris Statlander for the Women's World Championship at AEW Revolution. That's probably we'll see the title change hands. Possibly. Maybe not. So after that, we get the World Tag Team title match between Davis and Doyle and FTR. And I thought this was a really good tag team match, FTR and Davis and Doyle. I really love the pairing of Davis and Doyle. I really do. And just like what we talked about earlier, Doyle is injured. Looks like a torn bicep, according to online in that spot. So hopefully for a full recovery, and him and Davis can be back at it for those tag team titles, because I really love them together. They give me an old school tag team vibe from like the old days of like the territory days in wrestling. So I really like them paired up together, and that is why and I would think they would make great World Tag Team Champions in AEW. I really do. They fit well together. They look like brothers, honestly. They look similar to one another. So it's really cool. It was really cool to see them pair up. And I think once Davis fully recovers later down the road, hopefully he won't be out too long, I wouldn't mind seeing them eventually win those tag team titles. I mean, honestly, these two are a great team, and I think they would be a great would be great together. So I really love this. You also had MJF in the ring, and Brody King comes out and challenges MJF to Eliminator title match, and that's going to be happening next week. So you had that tonight, which I kind of don't like this segment because it kind of took everything away from last week. Last week, Brody King came out as well to confront MJF. And MJF told Brody King there's no way that he deserves a title shot. And I know this isn't a title shot. But the excuse me, I'm fighting this stiff news here. So I know it's not a title shot. Let me see what this. Look up something here. Because last week, MJF told Brody King that he did not deserve a title shot, that he needed to face some all of the talent first. And because he's been pretty much dominating the local talents in squash matches. And he's going up against MJF in an Eliminator match, which if he wins this, he will get a future world title shot. So it's a possibility he does win it and he gets a future world title shot. But I just kind of disagree with this because it just kind of takes away. I think they should have had Brody King go on like a mission. Like, you know what? He thinks I can't beat the elite talent around here in AEW. Kind of build that story and build that hype behind Brody King. Well, right then, let me go challenge the people and how about him go up against Kenny Omega or have him go up against somebody that's the elite talent the MJF's talking about instead of the squash matches, and have that build up to Eliminator match to where it's like, okay, if he wins, he gets a title shot, but if he loses, he don't. So instead of it just throwing him in there, I think they should have had him challenge. I mean, Andrade would have been a good one. Swerve would have been a good one. Kenny Omega, Moxley, even a lot of elite talent the MJF talked about for Brody King to beat instead of the local talent squash matches, and they could have build that up to this eliminator match later down the road for him to challenge the AEW World Championship. Maybe after the match at Revolution, whether it be Andrade or Kenny Omega who faces MJF for the title, and then they could face MJF, or if the title changes hands to Andrade or Kenny Omega, Brody King could face one of them. And then, it would build the story and build it up to have Brody King chase that title. Like, okay, he beat Mark let's say Mark Briscoe. Let's say in a non-title match. Let's say he beat Andrade. He beat Kenny Omega. He beat John Moxley. He beat Swerve. He beat Hangman Adam Page, or he beat Bandito even. He challenges Bandito. So just kind of beat some of the top talent, the elite talent in AEW to build it up to an eliminator match. He faces maybe MJF before the title match at Revolution, has the eliminator match, wins, and he's guaranteed a title match at some point later down the road after Revolution. I just think that would be a better way to do so than just to immediately throw him in an eliminator match, because if he does lose next week, then what? Is he done? Is he done chasing that AEW world title? I mean, they could have built that up for Brody King here. I would like to see him compete for the TNT Championship, honestly, because in my opinion, it would be he could win that title and hold that title. Maybe he could feud with Ciampa for that title, or go I think him winning the TNT title is long overdue. But just immediately throw him in this eliminator match. If he doesn't win next week, then what? Then what for Brody King? Are we? Is that it? Are we going to continue to see this build? Maybe he loses next week in the eliminator match, and then that's when the build happens of him beating this elite talent that MJF talks about. We see him chase the title after that. Maybe that happens, and then he gets another eliminator match or a number one contender match, and then he wins it and he faces for the title. Maybe. I don't know. But I just think it's too soon to throw him in the eliminator match. He should have beat some other elite talent, quote unquote. So after all that, we had the main event, Swerve Strickland and Andrade, in a phenomenal match. This was a great match between Swerve and Andrade. And the winner will face Kenny Omega next week to determine who is the number one contender for MJF's AEW World Championship at Revolution on March 15th. And I really love that Andrade won here. I do. I really do love that Andrade won in this match. Swerve and Andrade had a great match. Andrade hits a low blow followed by a DM, which is his finishing move, and he wins. So he's going to be facing Kenny Omega next week. And I find it funny because there was somebody online, forgot who it was, they posted about, oh, what happened to Kenny Omega and Andrade? I mean, they had a feud, and all of a sudden it stopped. So we had that, and all of a sudden they stopped doing that. And they said that earlier before the show began, and then now look at what we got here. Look what we got here. We got Andrade and Kenny Omega facing next week to determine who is the number one contender for MJF's World Championship at Revolution. Will Andrade win? I don't know. Will Andrade win? I don't know. But this is what we got for Dynamite next week. We got the AEW World Championship Eliminator match with MJF and Brody King, followed by an AEW National Championship match. The champ Ricochet facing off against Jack Perry, Jungle Jack Perry. And then we get Kenny Omega and Andrade next week to determine who is the number one contender for the AEW World Championship at AEW Revolution. So I liked, I thought it was funny that somebody said that, like, oh, just AEW forgot it. They didn't. They didn't forget Omega and Andrade, how that all began before the whole contract dispute thing happened with WWE, and they put like some kind of 2-year non-compete clause on him for violating his contract, whatever. But he called a lawyer and he got out of it, so I thought that was great. So I love how they circled back to this, and we get Kenny Omega and Andrade next week. And I'm pretty sure this won't be the end. I'm pretty sure, especially if Andrade wins. Imagine if Andrade wins this and he goes to face MJF at AEW Revolution. I think it's going to be Kenny Omega. I think that's where the route they're going to go with Kenny versus MJF. Will Kenny Omega win it at Revolution? I don't know. Maybe he will get one last title run and defeat MJF at Revolution, and then we'll see where that goes. Maybe it does lead to All in London, and he puts the title on the line against Will Ospreay. We get Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega at All in London for the AEW World Championship. That'd be pretty dope. I'd love that. But yeah, so this is what we got lined up so far next week for Dynamite. The National Championship, I really do think on Jungle Jack Perry wins here. I really do. I really believe he does. So again, this is a pretty good card set up for next week, and we're not done yet. I'm sure Tony Khan's got some other matches in store. But this Saturday for Collision, we'll look at this. I mean, Darby Allin and Clark Connors, that just came out of left field. Clark Connors, he's a great wrestler as well. He normally wrestles in New Japan. He was part of the Bullet Club, War Dogs, which is now another name now. So if we've seen him face against Darby Allin, that's going to be a good match. We had the debut of the Rascals facing off against the Crew, which I have a feeling this is going to be a win for the Rascals, for Crew to job to the Rascals here. So they're going to get their win. And then we get a AEW Women's World Tag Team title match with the Babes of Wrath, Willow Nightingale, and Harley Cameron putting the titles on the line against the Sisters of Sin. Again, Judea Hart and Sky Blue. Will the Sisters of Sin win this one? I don't know. We didn't see Thekla win the title. That's why I thought Thekla was going to win the title, because when they had this announced, I thought we was going to get Thekla winning and we get the Sisters of Sin winning, and they all hold the gold. But we'll see if that actually happens. Maybe Thekla will win it later down the road, the Women's World Championship, or maybe the TBS Championship. Maybe that'll happen. Instead of the Women's World title, they'll have her win the TBS title, and you have the Triangle of Madness with the gold of the Women's Tag Team titles and the TBS Championship. So maybe that's the route they go. Then we get Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander. Maybe Megan Bayne wins the Women's World title. So new faces in the Women's World title mix, so I like that. So after that, here we go, the TNT Championship with Mark Briscoe going up against Tommaso Ciampa. Love that he won. I'm gonna have to get that shirt, the Psycho Killer. It looks awesome. Love Skull stuff. That's why my logo is a cowboy skull. Anything that skulls on it, I love it. So I love that. So the collision this Saturday is looking really great. Again, I wish I could be there in attendance. I really do. Really hate that I'm going to miss this weekend because this looks like even a better card than the last time I attended. So sadly, I'll be missing this, but this is a great card I'll be watching, and I know I'll catch another collision, or better yet, maybe a Dynamite later down the road. So that's what we got set up. After the main event, you had MJF. He was watching the match, and then Kenny Omega, he was getting interviewed backstage, and Kenny Omega comes up and talks about, or goes to shake his hand because he pretty much guaranteed he's going to win and see him at Revolution. MJF looks at him, disgusts, and walks away. He rounds the corner, and then it's Andrade returning backstage from the ring. And then talks about he wants to slap him right now, but he's going to come for that gold. And then MJF storms out, going outside. Cameraman following him, goes to get in his car, and then who is there to meet him? My guy, Hangman Adam Page. He shuts the door and stares him down, looks at the title. Then he's like, all right, get in the vehicle. And then MJF does and demands his driver to take off, and he does. And then it ends looking at Hangman Adam Page, which, again, in my opinion, should be the next world champion. I want Hangman Adam Page back with the AEW World Championship. I've seen online some people are talking about, oh no, he had his shot and he was mid and he was boring. Y'all say that about every single freaking champion that get a wrestler that gets the title. A lot of people do. They were saying about Cody Rhodes. Oh, he's boring. Heyman's boring. Cody's boring. So is MJF boring? I mean, at least Hangman Adam Page defended the title on the regular. MJF has barely defended the title since he won it. He's been holding that title around, going around promo after promo. At least Hangman Adam Page is defending that world championship week after week on Dynamite in the pay-per-views. So, I'm not MJF's title run isn't bad, but it can be a lot better. But I like the stories that they're doing with him, like last week during the matches of Samoa Joe and Swerve, of him sitting in that balcony and watching the matches. So I like that, and I like how they was having him watch backstage on TV, watching these matches of everybody who's going after him in his world title. So I like that. And he's watching the competition. I like that they're adding that in. So, but I would like Hangman Adam Page to become world champion again. That's my guy. That's my guy in AEW. He's always been my guy. I mean, if Kenny wins, it'll be all right. I'll be happy with that as well. But more so, I want my guy Hangman Adam Page. I want my guy back at the top of the mountain with the world title. As you can see, I got a picture of the former champ right there. I got his bandana there. I got the bobblehead here. Where is it at? That's Okada right there. Boom. And then I got his shirts. I got, I'm just a Hangman Adam Page fan. I love Hangman Adam Page. He is my guy. So I would love to see the Cowboy win the title again. And I've seen it again. A lot of people online saying that he's boring. Please tell me why he's boring. I would like for you to tell me why. And I don't want to hear of, oh, well, he was just vanilla, or he was just this, or he was just that, or he was just too nice, or whatever. Okay, well, first off, I don't think he was too nice against Samoa Joe in that steel cage, even though he lost the title. But he's the babyface, so he's going to be the good guy. But at least he had some grit to him. And that's why I made the comparisons of Cody's the Hulk Hogan of today's era, and Hangman Adam Page is the Magnum TA. Because back in those days, if you go back to look at the old days of wrestling and you had Hulk Hogan, what were they saying? They were pretty much, I'm sure there were fans saying the same thing about Hulk Hogan then. Oh, he's got the machine behind him. Oh, he's vanilla, or this and that, or probably not vanilla, whatever they were saying at that time. in the 80s. So there's a difference. I see the comparisons. You got Cody at the top baby face. He's selling the merch. The fans love him. He's a modern day superhero. He's the top baby face of WWE. And then you got Magnum TA of the alternative, just like Magnum, Hammond Adam Page, not Magnum TA, of the alternative with AEW, just like Magnum TA was back in the day with NWA and WCW before he got in that horrible car accident. Who's to say what the company would have been if Magnum TA didn't get in that accident? There's a lot of what ifs. I was watching a few what ifs about the videos the other day. Would have WCW not have gone out of business? Would have they been? They probably would have because it was the booking. But would have Magnum TA jumped to WWF at the time when WCW NWA was pushing the Hulk Hogan and all that? So I don't know. It just. But I see people get online and just talk negative about Hangman, and yeah, I get defensive because that's my guy. Same thing with Cody Rhodes. So that's my guy, Hangman Adam Page. I'm gonna stand up for him. The Cowboy, love him, and I hope he becomes the AEW World Champion again because Hangman Adam Page winning the world title, and he can even put the title on against Will Ospreay. I mean, look at the match him and Will Ospreay had Double or Nothing last year. It was the match of the year. So imagine what they could do it all in London. I really like AEW right now and what's going on because a lot of things are unpredictable. And I love that. A lot of things are unpredictable right now with AEW. And for anyone who complains about AEW, who talks anything about AEW, I mean, look what they're doing right now. Look at the stories that they got. Look at the matches that they're doing. And look at the fan attendance. It has grown. It has grown. The fan attendance has grown. They had 5,000 in attendance last week. Let's see what they had through this week in Austin, Texas. Let's see what they had for attendance tonight because they had a really good. Here it is, right here. They had it went down some. It's let's see, a little over 3,000 in attendance. So still not that bad. Between that 3,000 and 5,000 range. So so the AEW keeping that momentum is good. It is good for the company and all. So I like that. It's good showing that they are gaining fans, and we'll see where that goes from there. You know, I like that. It's that stability, it's that consistency. So so yeah, I like that. Fan attendance don't matter to me when it comes to comparisons. Because people make that fan attendance argument when they talk about, oh, this is why WWE is better. Oh, because they got 10,000 or 15 or 20 or 30 or whatever in attendance. It doesn't matter in the argument of who is better. I like it for AEW because they have grown from struggling around 1,000 to 2,000 in attendance to now getting to 3,000 to 5,000 in attendance, and it's being consistent. So that's a good thing for AEW. Just like with TNA, they're going from barely in the few hundreds to 1,000 to now. I think last Thursday they had around 1,500 in attendance for the debut show. They had over 3,000 in attendance for Genesis. They had nearly 4,000 in attendance. I think it was. I think it was between 3,500 and 4,000 in attendance. So that's good for TNA. That's good for AEW because that means they're doing good business wise, and the alternatives are going to stick around. They're going to stick around. That's I don't care. I mean, I like seeing the growth in it. Even with WWE, I mean, Raw had 15,000 in attendance this past week. That was cool too. I just like that this is a positive for AEW, and the attendance is not going down, and that we uh, so that's why I like the fan that's the main reason why I hate the argument of fan attendance, because it doesn't mean that WWE is better than AEW. It doesn't mean that WWE is. Let me put it this way. Let's say your name brand shorts or your name brand clothing attire, right? Let's say Nike or Under Armour. They get shorts up there or shirts even for 30 or 40 bucks, maybe 50. Some of them are higher than that. And all of this is name brand. That's all it is. It's a name brand shirt or even jersey. Let's go jersey wise, okay? Let's go jersey. Let's say you get a jersey from Nike or Under Armour. Let's say basketball jersey. It's going to be over $100. You could go online and find an alternative with the same thing at a lower cost, and it's still going to be just as good as the name brand. It does not mean that the name brand is always better just because you dish out over 100, 120 bucks or $200 for that clothing item or shoe. I get good shoes around 50 to 100 bucks. I don't have to pay $300 or $500 for a pair of Jordans or Nikes. So with that being said, with WWE and AEW, just because the fan attendance for WWE is at 10 to 15,000, and let's say for Raw, then you have Dynamite. Oh, people are going, look at them. They're at 2, they're at 3, they're at blah, 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 thousand. Doesn't mean that they suck. It's just the arena that they're in. He booked a smaller arena. But as you can see, when he books a bigger arena, as in Orlando, Florida last week, and then in Austin, Texas this week, it was 3,000 to 5,000 in attendance. So when you have, so if he went to these bigger arenas, I guarantee you he could fill them up or get close to it. Maybe not be a sellout, but he could probably get close to it. Because especially with the pay-per-views go between 8 to 20,000 in attendance. So that's, I don't like the fan attendance argument or ratings argument when it comes to, oh, well, this is why, WWE's better, blah, blah, blah. That's the only thing I hate. But complimenting it and being happy for it in a positive way, like being happy that AEW got 3,000 to 5,000 in attendance and it's consistently going compared to, and it's consistently going instead of seeing it drop to 1,000. That means Tony Khan is getting into booking in these bigger arenas, and that's why I think 2025, or I say that 2025 was a reset, because in 2024 they were struggling wise with the stories and the matches. It wasn't as good in 2024. I still watched, but it wasn't as good to me as it was in 2025. And 2025 was kind of like that reset button because they were still doing the small arenas. But then towards probably around mid to the later of the year, they started doing more in attendance, big arenas to get more in attendance. And now you can see at the beginning of the year, they're doing it the same thing because more people are getting invested in AEW. So that is why. So that is a good thing for AEW because Tony Khan's like, all right, we're getting the fans, we're getting the attendance, so we're going to start booking in a little bit more bigger arenas. Same thing for the ratings. We'll see what the ratings do this past week. If it's around 500 to 600,000, cool. If it jumps up, cool. If it don't, cool. I'm still watching every single week. So we'll see, and that's not even including HBO Max numbers. I'm not saying HBO Max numbers are like, oh, it's another 500,000-600,000. No, I'd say roughly the HBO Max numbers. I'd say around maybe between 150 to 200,000 extra, adding on what the cable says. Because all we get really are the cable numbers. We don't get the HBO Max numbers. Why? I don't know. They're really secretive about it. I don't know why. Does it mean it's bad? No. Does it mean it's great? No. We don't know. They're just not sharing those numbers. I have no idea why they won't. But just because they're not sharing them doesn't mean, oh, it's got to be low. It's got to be really low. So that's all I gotta say about it, because that's why I hate the fan fan attendance and the ratings argument, because that's why main people's go-to of why they say AEW sucks. That's the only go-to they got. That's the only go-to they got. Because when we talk, some of those fans talking about how AEW is great, then they want to pull out the fan attendants. Oh yeah, that's really great because then they want to Photoshop empty seats or maybe AI alter a picture to show the empty seats. That's why there's a lot of things online I don't trust because I'll see some people post these pictures or they catch it at the in the opening of the show, when fans are just getting in, maybe getting to the merchandise sales or the food stand or whatever, and they're not fully in their seats yet. Because I've seen somebody make that picture for Double or Nothing last year, and then that same section he took a picture of that had several empty seats later in the show, it was full. It was full over there. Why? Because somebody took that picture to kind of do a probably like a clickbait rage picture to get people to engage. Be like, look, AEW came and fill the seats, blah, blah, blah. And then later on the show, I'm like, hey, didn't you just take a picture of that like an hour ago? And it was empty. But now look at it because the fans are coming in the door. And when I go to these shows, they're lined up outside at the merchandise table and they're buying the merchandise. And the line's long for the merchandise. I mean, heck, when I was at All In Texas, that's why I didn't even go into the line really towards the end of the show. And then when I did, about near everything was sold out. That's why I only got this little bandana here. And I couldn't get anything else because it was all gone. And then the Dynamite show I went to later, same thing. They were at the line was full at the merchandise sales. That's why when I go to these shows now, I'm not even going to worry about going at the merchandise table because I'm not going to miss the show. I'm not going to wait in line that long. So I'm just going to go and get my seat, get my food, get my seat ready for the show, and I'll just purchase whatever online. I ain't got to wait in line for anything. I got to wait for it to ship to me, and sometimes that could take a little longer than I expect. But I ain't got to wait in line, and I ain't got to miss the show. So that's why the whole fan attendance argument I disagree with. I say argument for AEW, such a hypocritical statement. Can't have it both ways. I just complimented the AEW getting 3 to 5K was a good thing. And then I just complimented TNA and WWE as well. It's all good. You don't have to explain yourself. You're struggling to make your point. No, I'm not struggling. I got it. I told you. I don't like these arguments as in poking a jab of why. That's the same thing. There's some of these AEW, pro AEW accounts. There's a couple of them I've called out because they talked about, what was it? SmackDown. A SmackDown, even a Raw. There was one Raw that had like 6,000 something in attendance. And they were poking at it. And I was like, bro, it's just the arena that they booked. They still sold out the arena. Same thing for AEW. Even if AEW books an arena for 1,000 to 2,000 in there, if it sells out, it's still a great thing. If you see someone, one of these companies struggle to sell out an arena around 1,500, 2,000, then that's when okay, that's when it can get concerning. If the arena is like for the Collision episode I went to, the max capacity for that I think it was around 1,400, but when I went it was packed. It was a full house. So if I saw several empty seats there, then I'd be, that's not good. Is it going to tell me that AEW sucks? No. Is it? Does Collision hurt a lot more than the Dynamite? Yeah, that's because of the star power they put on the shows a lot of times. This week they got some star power on the show, so I know it's gonna sell out. You got Tommaso Ciampa showing up. You got the Rascal showing up. You got Clark Connor showing up. I mean, we got some star power in Collision. And last week with the taping, they had Hangman and several other stars in the show. And if they just booked that more, that's why I like to see a good brand split in AEW with Dynamite and Collision, because they booked that more and has some star power on Collision and Dynamite. You would see Collision get more ratings and more fans in attendance at the shows because they had the star showing up. Book Hangman and MJF and Kenny Omega matches on Collision. Don't just save them for Dynamite. I mean, a couple of years ago they did that. I think it was Kenny Omega and MJF on a Collision main event for the world title. And that ratings for that was really great, and the fan attendance as well. I mean, they start doing that booking, then yeah, that'd be great. Clark Connor, he is a New Japan wrestler. He is actually Thekla's husband. That's Thekla's husband. Um, but he wrestles in New Japan. He was part of the Bullet Club War Dogs with Gabe Kidd. And it's not called Bullet Club's War Dogs anymore. It's called something else. They got rid of Bullet Club. Bullet Club's like retired now. But it's like the non-like, can't even remember what the name was. It was like non-corporate something. I don't know. But I hate that they get rid of Bullet Club names. I really love it. So they the Kenny Omega, Finn Balor era was, and Cody era was the best. But I still like the name though, and I still like the logo and stuff. But yeah, that's where Clark Connors was. He was over there, and so I would like he's great. He's a really great wrestler, and I actually really like him. He's got some great matches over there in New Japan. So if you don't know about it, go check out New Japan World app and go, or you probably go on YouTube and find some highlights for Clark Connors. So, but seeing him wrestle against Darby, it's going to be a great match on AEW Collision. How's he star power for Collision? Oh well, if you watch New Japan World app and watch New Japan Wrestling, you would know about him. So he is a star over there. He's part of the Bullet Club War Dogs, and he won the tag titles over there. See, what other titles did he win? He won the tag titles. I know that. There were some other titles he won too. Let me check. There we go. Let's see. Junior heavyweight tag team titles. Oh no, that was it. Oh, he was the Defy World Champion in Defy Wrestling. That's what it was. That's what I was thinking of. But he won the Junior World tag team titles over there in New Japan. But he's a great wrestler. He was involved in the Bullet Club, War Dog, and Evil's faction over there in New Japan. They had a great match. New Japan Dominion last year. It was like this cage match, which was pretty cool and pretty fun. So, but yeah, Clark Connors is really good. I enjoy Clark Connors. I like the cowboy hat that he wears too. So that is Thekla's husband. So I highly recommend go seeing his matches on. You can see some highlights on YouTube, I know, but if you go on the New Japan World app for $10 a month, $9.99, you can go see a lot of the old school matches in full. So I highly recommend it, especially gearing up for Collision this Saturday against Darby Allin, because him and Darby's going to have a great match. I'm telling you. And Tommaso Ciampa and Mark Briscoe will have a great one as well. So yeah, I'm hyped for Collision this week. I'm hyped for Dynamite next week. So you never heard of them? Watch New Japan Pro Wrestling more. Watch New Japan Pro Wrestling more. They got some great talent over there. One of them, Evil, is going to be showing up in WWE soon, according to sources. So we'll see. And if so, if you want to go catch up on New Japan, you'll see what he's all about. He's actually pretty good. He's actually really good as well. Evil's a really good wrestler. I like him as well. I enjoy seeing his matches over there. So I highly recommend go watching his matches too. So if you go and watch and check all these matches out in New Japan, you'll know some of these guys and won't be questioning on who. And the AEW lately has been doing some good video packages on showing who some of these guys are. So they might do it for Clark Connors this weekend. I don't know. And if they don't, well, they don't. So just go watch New Japan. He is a star. He is a star. He was in a lot of Bullet Club War Dogs storylines over there in New Japan. Him and who else was a part of this group? You had him and Gabe Kidd. You had him and let's see, War Dogs. Here we go. Let's see, Drilla. That's what I was thinking of. Clark Connors, Drilla Maloney, Gabe Kidd, and Alex Coughlin. They were over there in the Bullet Club War Dogs, and David Finlay as well. So they were over there in New Japan, and they had some great matches over there. If you watch more than just, yeah, I mean, you got to go watch New Japan, Devin. You got to go watch New Japan. Okay, you can check out his Twitter, but you can go. I don't even think he has Twitter. Let me see. I know he has an Instagram. Let me see. Yep, he does. Yep, he is 15,000 plus, almost 16,000. But yeah, you have that is Thekla's husband, and who knows, he might be signing with AEW as well soon. So we'll see that. But yeah, I enjoy Clark Connors over there in New Japan. So yeah, he's got star power. So if you watch more New Japan wrestling, you'd know. That's all I can say. But for those of us that watch more than WWE or AEW or TNA, and we watch New Japan, we watch CMLL, and even AAA, and some other and Stardom, you know, a lot of us know these people because we watch and we know who they are. So when we watch more than just, you know, a little scope of wrestling, then you get to broaden your horizon and see more talent. You know, you get to see more wrestlers. Just like NWA Power. If you watch NWA Power and go see the talent they have, and especially in all the territories that they got going on with these territory companies that they got made, and you see some of the talent there. I mean, if you go check out Richard Holiday, I don't think he's contracted with NWA, but he has wrestled in NWA, and he's really great. I really like his charisma, his character, his wrestling, and everything about him. So, yeah, go check him out. Go check out some other NWA wrestlers. So, yeah, I watch AEW and I watch WWE a lot, but I also go check out New Japan. I also go check out I can't see them highlights because of the some of the subscriptions you got to pay. I think it's kind of pricey to me, for me anyway. And then you got let's see, AAA as well. Some talent over there. I love Laredo Kid, and Mini Vikingo was really good too. Mini Vikingo is also really good. Yeah, so you got some great wrestlers over there. So I just, you know, when you open up your window to more wrestling, then you get to see more of these great talented wrestlers. So, well, follow him, and then you will know more about Clark Connors. Like I say, he's a really great wrestler. He's Australian. Good day, Mike. So yeah, yep, he's one of the stars. So he's gonna be a star in AEW as well when he signs with them. I'm sure he will shortly once his New Japan contract is up. So. So you can go check that out. Don't miss Collision this Saturday. Don't miss Dynamite next week. And definitely don't miss Devin, the travel chief over here, for TNA Watch Along tomorrow night and War Rumble this Saturday. Go check that out with the Opinion City podcast. Go check with Palm and Ralph King of the Opinion City podcast. Will be doing a 3-man watch along for Royal Rumble. Sadly, I won't be able to be the fourth added like we did for the John Cena's last match because of my work. I'll watch them on YouTube and all. I'm getting ready and stuff, and even tune into Royal Rumble, but I won't be able to join them because of my work, sadly. But but go check them out on this weekend for TNA tomorrow night and for Devin. And then the Saturday, you can check the Three Amigos for the Royal Rumble this Saturday. Yep, go check it out. Go check it out. Hey, if AEW eat your cup of tea, cool. That is cool. No hard feelings here. But that being said, love everybody. Love professional wrestling. I'll be doing a Royal Rumble predictions preview here shortly. So catch that for tomorrow. Got some predictions for the Royal Rumble. And you probably already know who I might be picking to win the men's. So, but check it out. Let me know what you think. Enjoy the conversation. Love everybody. And just remember, everyone, love professional wrestling. I'm going to be out. Have a good one, y'all.
From the first bout to the last stand, this is for every fan who loves it. I am Dr. Love, and this is Aaron Love's Wrestling. Yeah! Turn the lights on, hear the crowd ignite. Heartbeat pounds on a Friday night. From the territory days to the modern age, every ring's a war, from every match to every stage. I grew up on legends, I learned to believe in heroes, villains, the blood, and you can see the love I have. It is all on my sleeve, from dusty roads to bright marquee. Wrestling is in my blood, there's no hate in me. Hear the roar when the music hits, goosebumps when the champion appears. Every style, every fight, every ring, one love for the business. I am here to bring the love and the passion in every review. Aaron loves wrestling. AEW, WENWA, New Japan, TNA. It doesn't matter about the brand, I love it all. Aaron loves wrestling. My heart is in the ring. No walls, no wars, just the passion for the business that I bring. Aaron loves wrestling. Fire, one world, one voice, taking us higher. AEW, Monday Night Raw to Friday Night SmackDown, Saturday Night Main Event under the neon lights. And NXT has the rising stars. The future is looking pretty bright. Dreams get built in every fight. From Wednesday Night Dynamite to Saturday Night Collision, New Japan battles, hearts on fire. From the Tokyo Dome to Arena, Mexico, in every zone, every style's a kingdom, every ring is a throne. Give away to AEW, every New Japan pride. TA Live, always AEW, A on the rise. Different banners, but the same love and passion pounding in us all. Aaron loves wrestling. Every brand, it doesn't matter about the three letters. From the local hall to the global star. Oh my God, that sound. When the entrance hits, we are all ready to start. Aaron loves wrestling. Side by side. No tribal lines, just love for the business worldwide. This is wrestling. This is wrestling. Cuddy fights for the dreams of us all in red, white, blue. And man doesn't stay down, he is always fighting for redemption. Mox bleeds for the business, bringing out the passion in us all. Okada is the rainmaker, the money rains down with every title reign. Cena's never giving up the fight. Fear strikes in the heart of man when Undertaker appears. Sting is the vigilante that every villain fears. Legends will always be remembered, they never retire in our hearts. They will live on forever. From Flair to Michaels, from Hogan to Cena, from Omega's rise to acknowledging reigns. Different paths but the same damn ring, same damn love for professional wrestling. Say it loud, I love wrestling. Say it proud, I love wrestling. No hate, no tribalism, just love for the business until the end of time. You know the war goes on your chest. If you love this business, then you're the best. No keyboard warriors, no hate, no lies. Just respect when the warriors rise. From the curtain rise to the final pin, we all are chasing that moment when the bell rings. It's more than title belts, it's more than glory. It's our love for professional wrestling in every story. So pull your hearts up, it's all one love. Every fan's got a place, from every city to every nation. We're united by a love for professional wrestling. Aaron loves wrestling. Hear the crowd with every chant, every heartbeat, and with every tear. Aaron loves wrestling. This is our life. From the rise of a hero to the falling of wrestling. Never ends. From the opening bell to the final ring. Aaron loves wrestling. We all just love listening. AEW, no more hate. Just love professional wrestling. AEW. The American Cowboy will always ride for this. Dr. Love will always share the love of professional wrestling. For every ring, every wrestler, and every fan. One word, one passion, one truth that I'm confessing.